Hello and welcome people back to Let's Play Legend.
Why does she hate the map so much?
Yeah, she hates the map so much that she actually scrolled it all the way over there. Did you see?
Yeah.
They kind of didn't notice that the map repeats. And now I think this is our introduction to the Velociraptors.
I was about to say, are we in Dino Crisis now?
Well, I mean, you know that they're not terribly good at this whole staying up to theme of medieval type enemies. There we go. This is the first and I believe only time I actually get hit by a gargoyle.
So when are we gonna fight winged velociraptors?
What kind of velociraptors?
Winged ones. Ones with wings.
Well, no, we don't fight winged velociraptors. We do, however, fight flying velociraptors, if that counts for anything.
But how do they fly if they don't have wings?
Well, there are multiple ways of flying. You know, you can also be a fighter jet.
True.
There are possibilities.
Turns out this is the distant past of the Wild Arms universe.
It would make just as much sense as anything.
Right.
I was wrong. I got hit by a gargoyle twice. Screw you in particular. Thankfully, once you know that you can just that you can do the downward strikes, the dogs are not as terrifying of an enemy. Otherwise, they are the worst. And you may be wondering, this is the last place on the map, right? Why am I still bothering to pick up money and what have you? Even though this is the last stage, they still actually let you go to a store after this is done. So that's very nice of them. And there we go, another velociraptor. You want to be careful with velociraptors because they can open doorknobs, and also they are capable of stun locking you forever, just like spiders. Though they have a lot more interesting things they can do, so they don't necessarily do it.
Oh no, he took away your knife stick.
See, this is why dogs are the worst, because if you don't take them out immediately, they can do that. They can just keep bashing you and then going out of your reach, and bashing you and going out of your reach, just like spiders. Though they're
Nico is a rat person.
Though they're much less effective at it. Yeah, I'm not gonna be able to save it over. Like, even after... here you have flying velociraptors, I told you.
Well. Okay then.
And I can't move because I was I was stunned.
I mean, it's not what I expected, but yeah. Indeed, those are flying velociraptors.
Mm-hmm. I mean, this game delivers. And here, for some reason, my controller wasn't respawning anymore. Until I did this.
It's part of the magic of Legend, Knights of Carnage. Don't question it.
Well, I probably what I was trying to do was try to cast magic, but then the game was like, no, you didn't do it in quite the right order. Have to try again. But we're not gonna give you any sort of indication or let you do anything else in the meantime. But oh well. You want to watch out for those flying velociraptors, because well, they can take quite a lot of punishment, and unless you're using combos, and they'll block just about any of your moves. And here is where I accidentally use ice, so you get to actually see what it does. See, it encases them in ice, and not for very long either.
But it looks cool.
Yeah. Frog is even cooler, but it's also even more useless.
I still can't believe frog is an element.
Yeah, like, especially since everything else you get is like fire, ice, frog. And
also, karate chopping a velociraptor is fucking awesome. I just want to say that.
Like, just in case you're wondering, why am I jumping so much? It's not that I want to jump. I just want to. I'm just struggling through this game's weird button combinations. And this is one of the meanest ambushes in this entire game. You have so little place to maneuver. But thankfully this flying velociraptor was nice enough to wait for his turn, and the other one was nice enough to get stuck behind a freaking treasure chest. Also, for whatever reason, like the detection for your combo, is a little bit all over the place.
Get the magic gauntlet, Nico. Get it.
I accidentally picked up one of them, but even though it's the combo is supposed to be R1, R2, and press square a bunch of times, it still doesn't detect it every time, and it's also not even the case of, oh, because my fist meter is not all the way up to full. No, that isn't the case. I was able to do it at like nearly empty bar. It just does not register correctly every time. And this is why I end up doing weird stuff. Yeah, we already know those exist. So now we're inside the castle. Oh yeah, fuck you all. I love this attack. It's too bad this doesn't have like a weird, you know how in Ocarina of Time, if you use the stick to light something up, but then you hit it right before it got used up, you still had the whole stick for the next time.
Yes.
I wish that if like your, I mean, that would be kind of broken, but if the enemy, say, if the enemy knocked out the weapon from your character, it would just get refilled to full. Or if maybe there was like one scenario where your weapon gets refilled to full. Like some very, very weird specific thing that you have to do. At the same time, the end, like how in Forbidden Siren, for example, you can let your enemies. Thank you, game. You can actually let your enemies pick up guns, so they will refill them from their endless supply of bullets.
Right.
And then you sneak kill them and get the full gun. Here, like, I'm half thankful the enemies are actually not smart enough to pick up weapons from the ground, because this would be... I wouldn't want anybody to have the magic gauntlet.
Yeah, that'd be bad news.
I mean, technically, Technically, actually, every enemy uses well, most of the enemies use varieties of weapons that you can have. Like the enemies that made this game unreleasable in US were using knife sticks. The knights use swords. Well, many enemies use swords. There are guys who fight hand-to-hand combat. These flying velociraptors were using dual swords. But
of course.
But it has actually nothing to do with the kind of weapon they drop, or as far as I can tell. And you know, whatever I say about this game stays true because nobody played this.
Nobody but you has played this game, Nico. You can brag about that.
And this is why we don't use the great sword.
I see no issue.
And here they give you a lot of magic. Now, the final stretch of the game is actually fairly nice with like setting you up with stuff, especially magic. Like they actually recognize the fact that if you reasonably want to survive, magic is pretty much a must. Oh, and here we get the introduction to just about the most useless enemy in the game. Thank you, game, for putting me in a really awkward and long animation with this fucking weapon.
But of course, darling.
I absolutely love just the way she descends from heaven in fire and just walks. Just typical Sheena. Just walks like nothing happened.
Yeah, you know, she does.
Wednesdays.
But it's Monday.
Exactly.
Okay, Garfield.
Yeah, so just like before, skeletons do like to block because they have shields, but they don't really have that much health. Just the problem, there is a lot of them.
So when is there gonna be a Devil May Cry game where we can play as a skeleton?
Is there a Devil May Cry game where you can play as a skeleton? That's a good question.
I guess we'll never know until next Halloween.
But yeah, that was our introduction. That was our introduction to the most worthless enemy in the game, the Cyclops. They really don't do much. They get staggered very easily, and they're very slow.
Yeah.
Oh, screw you. Into your...
You know, at this point I'm just waiting for us to fight like a giant robot.
I can tell you that much. They don't actually have those.
Oh.
But the Velociraptors is as weird as it gets already. But yeah, the Velociraptors were pretty much like. I guess you like Jurassic Park then. You know, it's kind of cool to see these sorts of things in these old games because it's fairly obvious that none of these assets really took that much effort to make. like okay, you can argue technology was more difficult, but designing an enemy for a PS1 game, you just had to make an origami model. That's pretty much it. So they were more free to put in weird shit that doesn't really make much sense.
Yeah, they are free to put in whatever the hell they wanted.
Or like the designer just had a lot more free reign over what they actually put in the game. What comes into mind is Overblood 2. Like, that game is rip-off central, but it's to the point where it actually becomes a thing that was actually fairly well done. Because at one point, you're in a flying jungle, fighting a Terminator T-Rex with a lightsaber.
Okay.
And there are explosions everywhere. Just like it couldn't, like just when you thought it couldn't get any cooler than that, there's just explosions everywhere. Also, that game also really liked the Star Wars prequels.
Well, I mean, a lot of people did when the first one came out, so...
Yeah. And this is gonna be the last time we meet our friendly shopkeep.
Sorry, Laura, I can't give credit. Come back when you're a little, richer.
Thankfully, we are like hella rich, hella flirty, so...
We got hella bread and 17 cents.
So I'm also gonna get a magic gauntlet.